The Senate will come to order. Senators will be in their seats. The clerk will call the roll.
Alley. Baumgartner. Billinger. Bowers. Clays. Corson. Dietrich. Dahl. Erickson. Fagg. Vouskado. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Hawk. Hildebrand. Holland. Holscher. Kirshen. Cluse. Longbine. Masterson. McGinn. Olson. O'Shea. Peck. Peterson. Petty. Pittman. Pyle. Reichman. Steffen. Straub. Sullentrop. Sykes. Thompson. Tyson. Ware. Warren. Wilborn.
Senators and guests, please rise and give prayerful attention to the chaplain.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in several parts of the world, this day is recognized as St. Patrick's Day. And Lord, it's acknowledged by many as a sacred religious holiday. But as the case usually is, like with Easter and Christmas, the focus gradually becomes less sacred and more secular. Lord, when I searched for the religious viewpoint, I found that St. Patrick, a Catholic priest, used a three-leaf clover called a shamrock as a visual aid in his religious teaching. It was from your word in Matthew, the 28th chapter, verse 19, and again in 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 14, that St. Patrick understood the Holy Trinity, the triunity of your being, that in essence you are one God, yet in three persons. He then used a three-leaf clover called a shamrock as his visual aid, one clover, but three leaves, each leaf separately representing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And Lord, also in keeping with a sacred theme, it is said that the three leaves symbolize the three enduring spiritual gifts of 1 Corinthians 13:13, faith, hope, and love. And Lord, when there's a four-leaf clover, the fourth is said to remind us of blessings from your hand that some choose to call good luck. Unlike the world, Lord, keep us holy. Keep holy things sacred. I come to you in the holy name of Jesus, the Christ. Amen.
Please continue standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On a point of personal privilege, the chair recognizes the senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. It's my pleasure today to introduce to the Senate a young lady from Mulvane. She is here today accompanied by her mother. Carly Collins is a junior at Mulvane High School, and she's a member of the Sedgwick County 4-H, and she's received championship awards with her livestock and with her showmanship. Carly currently serves as president of the Peck Ramblers 4-H Club, and in FAA, she is active as a judging competitions, including meat judging all the way to agriculture mechanics. Carly is the secretary of the Mulvane FFA chapter, and she's just elected vice president of that chapter for the upcoming year. She plans to continue her education at Cali College on a livestock judging scholarship, and then move to K-State to complete her degree in agricultural education. Kelly has won several awards, including the Midwest U.S. Agricultural Pageant in December of 21. She is a current Kansas Teen Miss United States Agricultural Queen, and she won the overall Kansas People's Choice and overall 22 Kansas Agricultural Advocate. The pageant was the pageant's motto was to teach, inspire, and advocate for agriculture. She is thankful for the part that Mulvane FAA has done for her, and also the doors it's opened up. And she plans to become a agricultural teacher when she graduates. So if I would, please give Carly Collins a warm Senate welcome at this time. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to you and welcome to the Kansas Senate. Please note reference of bills on pages 1 and 2 of the calendar. We are now ready for final action. On this roll call, we will take the following. The bills on page 4, Senate Bill 390, sub for Senate Bill 563 and House Bill 2478. The clerk will read the titles.
Senate Bill 390, an act concerning elections. Sub, Senate Bill 563, an act concerning reapportionment. House Bill 2478, an act concerning roads and highways.
The clerk will call the roll.
Alley. Baumgardner. Billinger. Bowers. Clays. Corson. Dietrich. Dahl. Erickson. Fagg. Bauskado. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Hawk. Hildebrand. Holland. Holscher. Kirshen. Cluse. Longbine. Masterson. McGinn. Olson. O'Shea, Peck, Peterson, Petty, Pittman, Pyle, Reichman, Steffen, Straub, Sullentrop, Sykes, Thompson, Tyson, Ware, Warren, Wilborn.
Has every senator had the opportunity to vote? Yes, the chair recognizes the senator from Miami, Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I vote no on Senate substitute for 563. Aye on the balance.
Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Falscato.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I want to change my aye on 390 to a pass. And if I could explain my vote on pass on 390 is that understanding the intent and wanting to the senator from Cherokee to help him a little bit, but understanding his intent, I was hoping that the bill would have been referred back to committee on the Francisco motion to better clarify the intent of Senate Bill 390. So, Mr. Vice President, my aye vote, please change it to pass for 390.
Duly noted. Thank you. Chair recognizes the senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I vote aye.
Has every senator had the opportunity to vote? Does any senator wish to explain their vote? The chair recognizes the senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'd like to explain my vote on both Senate Bill 390 and the Senate substitute for 563.
You may proceed.
Mr. Vice President, I vote no on Senate Bill 390. County election officers have chain of custody systems. The Secretary of State has offered to make recommendations for a uniform chain of custody system to be used for all elections in the state. Instead of passing this bill, we should take the Secretary up on that offer. The wording in this bill adds unnecessary complexity. Since it applies to all ballots and does not distinguish between the handling of batches of ballots and handling individual ballots, it's requiring an affidavit each time a single ballot is transferred. Let's not implement a system that might require more affidavits than votes cast. And Mr. Vice President, I vote no on the Senate substitute for Senate Bills 563. The committee process for redistricting did not provide adequate notice for comments from other legislators and, more importantly, the public. Many comments made during the August listening tour seem to have been ignored, including those from my Douglas County clerk who noted difficulties created when voting districts are split. The map described in the bill does not adhere to the guidelines set by the committee, including not to split those districts. Even though all the testimony at the hearing on this bill was in opposition to this map, no changes were made. In fact, the bill was worked and voted out of committee the same day as the hearing. It takes several days to have an amendment for the maps drawn, so putting this bill on general orders the day after that meeting meant there wasn't time for me to have an amendment drawn up to address my concerns over the splits of 2 townships, and a total of 24 voting districts in Liberty Map 3. In contrast, the Eisenhower map offered as an amendment does not split any voting districts. We can and we should do better.
Do you wish to have your words spread across the journal?
I do for both. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder, 200 words or less. The chair recognizes the senator from Barton, Senator Straub.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Since the time that I was first elected to a public office, I have said how the Western Kansas voice is being eroded, and it continues to be eroded by maps like this. When I requested just a week and a half ago to see this map, I was not allowed to see it, although I'm pretty certain it was probably already drafted by that time. So without sufficient time to propose thoughtful amendments to this, I absolutely cannot support a map that's neither transparent nor honest. I continue to stand for the Western Kansas voice, and with the collapse of Senate District 35 from this map, I just can't support it. Thank you.
Do you wish to have your words spread across the journal?
No thanks, it's recorded.
Senator, Chair recognizes the senator from Douglas, Senator Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. First of all, let me start with her permission. I'd like to join the senator from Douglas's comments regarding substitute for Senate Bill 563.
Duly noted.
Can I proceed with my comments, please?
You may proceed.
Mr. Vice President, I vote no on substitute for Senate Bill 563. The Liberty 3 Kansas State Senate redistricting map, if enacted, would separate the communities of interest, Tonganoxie, East and South Lawrence, Eudora, and Baldwin City, currently contained within the boundaries of the existing Kansas State's 3rd Senate District. Current boundaries were established by a federal district court on June 7, 2012, following the inability of the Kansas legislature to enact U.S. congressional, state Senate, and state House districts. During general orders on March 16, 2022, I offered an alternative Senate redistricting map, Free State 5, for consideration. Bill language and maps defining the amendment can be respectively found at, and Mr. Vice President, I list those URLs in my explanation of vote. There were several problems with the redistricting process as conducted by the Kansas Senate Redistricting Committee, including logistical inability of legislators not assigned to the committee to prepare both bills and floor amendments for debate. The proposed 9th district is less compact as assessed by all 10 measures of compactness. The proposed 19th district boundaries attempt to establish a community of interest between East Topeka, which is urban, and North Lawrence, which is suburban. Such a community does not exist. State Senator Tom Holland, 3rd District. I ask my remarks to be spread across the journal.
Duly noted. Are there any more explanations of votes? The chair recognizes the senator from Reno, Senator Steffen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'm going to take this a little bit different direction real quickly. As is my Senate District 34 expands to expand into the southern half of Kingman County and all of Barber County. And I do want to just take 1 second to express what an incredible honor it would be for me to get to represent those folks. You know, the southern half of Kingman County catches the Shikaski River Basin, where the last bison was killed in 1887. It's where my ranch is. It's where I raised my family. It's where my friends are. And I'm so excited to catch my friend Bill Suinram in Zenda in the Lumberyard restaurant in Zenda. I invite you all to come. It's such a cool place. Lunch, Saturday, 11:30. It's on me. From there, Barber County. It's the hidden gem of Kansas. It's rugged canyons like out of a Clint Eastwood Western. Some of the toughest, smartest, most ingenious people live there, and they don't depend on anybody to make a living. And my friends at Nicholas Water Service in Medicine Lodge, my buddy Mark Buck, who I went to college with at Northwestern in Alva, Oklahoma, he's the superintendent of schools there. All those folks who I've admired and loved through the years, I get to have the opportunity to potentially represent them in the future, and I will do my very best. Thank you.
Senator, would you like to have your words spread across the journal? But I'll take the cash for lunch anyway. Yes, the chair recognizes the Senator from Sedgwick. Senator Ware.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I would like to make a change in my vote if it's not too late.
You may.
On 563, from no to yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted. Are there any other changes of vote? Seeing none, the clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. "38 having voted in favor, 0 against, House Bill 2478. 28 having voted in favor and 8 against, Senate substitute for Senate Bill 563, and 27 having voted in favor and 10 against, Senate Bill 390. These measures, having received the required constitutional majority, are hereby declared passed. Messages from the House, the clerk will read.
Announcing passage of HB 2528, HB 2712, announcing passage of Senate Bill 335, Senate Bill 392, sub Senate Bill 400, announcing passage of Senate Bill 348 as amended, Senate Bill 366 as amended, Senate Bill 408 as amended. House Bill 2528, an act concerning amusement rides. House Bill 2712, an act establishing the Kansas Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial as part of the Department of Commerce.
This constitutes introduction of those bills previously read. Before recessing, are there announcements? Yes, the chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Senator Faust-Cadeau.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Originally, I wasn't standing to be recognized, but since you gave me the opportunity, I will use it to say Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Are there any other meaningful announcements? The chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Senator Kirsten.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Guess I'll talk about you, so that'll be meaningful. But no, I wanted to, Senator Ag and Natural Resources will not meet tomorrow, so we're not going to have a meeting. But in the other announcement I want to take, my page today is Gracie Dugan from Wichita, and she's around your season, 4th grader from St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. She's been running on errands all afternoon, so, and thank you for inviting her, I appreciate that.
Chair recognizes the senator from Johnson County, Senator Sykes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I want to make an announcement to all of the women in the room. You should have received an invitation for a dinner on Monday night, and if you're going to attend, I believe the host needs your menu option by tomorrow. So thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from Cherokee, Senator Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Senate Public Health and Welfare Committee will have a short meeting at the rail after adjournment of the Senate this afternoon to finish our work on Senate Bill 501. If we finish that work at the rail, we will not have a meeting tomorrow. Thank you.
The chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just want to announce tomorrow we'll be meeting at our normal time, normal room. We got a couple bills to finish, and we're going to work some legislation. So want to try to get our hearings done and then get our bills worked, and then probably a normal day. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Seeing none, the chair recognizes the senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Republicans will caucus in room 548 upon recess. And at this time, I yield to the senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
The chair recognizes the senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Senate Democrats will caucus in 287 North upon recess. I yield back to the senator from Cali.
The chair recognizes the senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you. I move the Senate recess to the sound of the gavel.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We are recessed. Senate will come to order. The chair recognizes the senator from Lynn, Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Senate Tax Committee will meet immediately after session in room 348 today. Immediately after session, room 348. Thank you.
On consideration of motions to concur or non-concur, the chair recognizes the senator from Cherokee, Senator Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the Senate non-concur and House amendments to Senate Bill 348 and request a conference committee be appointed.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carried. The chair appoints as conferees on the part of the Senate the senator from Cherokee, Senator Hildebrand, the senator from Johnson, Senator Gossage, and the senator from Wyandotte, Senator Petty.
Point of personal privilege?
On consideration of motions to concur or non-concur, the chair recognizes the senator from Lynn, Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I said 348. It's 548. The Senate Tax Committee will be meeting in room 548. Thank you.
Thank you for the correction. Also, on a consideration of motions to concur or non-concur, the chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur and House amendments to Senate Bill 366 and request a conference committee be appointed.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion carried. The chair appoints as conferees on part of the Senate, Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, Senator from McPherson, Senator Wilburn, Senator from Wyandotte, Senator Haley. On a consideration of motions to concur or non-concur, the chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur in House amendments to Senate Bill 408 and request a conference committee be appointed.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The chair appoints as conferees on part of the Senate the senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, the senator from McPherson, Senator Wilburn, and the senator from Wyandotte, Senator Haley. The chair now recognizes the majority leader from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate resolve itself into Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on the calendar under the heading of General Orders.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion carried. The chair appoints the senator from Shawnee, Senator Dietrich, to preside over the committee as a whole.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day. So the Senate, having resolved itself into the Committee of the Whole, will now consider those items listed on the calendar under the heading of General Orders. We'll now turn our attention to House Bill 2540. The chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Olson, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. 2540 is identical bill to Senate Bill 330 that we passed earlier this year. It's the Gold Star Family Bill. It's for family members of lost ones that served in the line of duty in the military. It's to build a monument here on the Capitol grounds. And it would, I have an amendment. We want to, let me give you the amendment. It's 3755.
And you've turned it in?
I have. And I can explain it.
Will you give us a second while we distribute the amendment? Do you want to explain your amendment or do you want to have it read?
I'll explain it. Thank you, Madam Chair. The amendment just changes it from the register to the statute book. I want to give us an opportunity to see if we can't get the Senate version passed. This will send the bill to conference, and I assure the body will get one version or the other out, but this will give us an opportunity to get the bill to conference.
Thank you, Senator. Are there any questions on this amendment? Senator from Douglas. Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have questions, but I do stand in support of this amendment. It could save us some money.
Very good. Any other questions on this amendment? Seeing none, you may move your amendment.
I move my amendment.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say no. It appears the motion passed. We're back on the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I said, this is a monument that will be here on the Capitol grounds. It acknowledges the people that have lost loved ones in the line of duty. This is it's a great deal, and there's a lot of House members that signed on. Equally, I think there was 38 senators that signed on. So I'll just stand for questions.
Body, do we have questions? Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Pittman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make a note on this. This bill was inspired by a challenge from a fellow named Woody, who's been setting up these monuments across the United States to the governor during a ceremony down in Johnson County. I want to be very clear, though, that this is not one of the monuments. The intent is not to have a monument that is in the style that organization that he represents has. They tend to be a lot larger. The focal point, this will be something that is respectful in line with the Veterans Memorial Walk that's on the south side of the Capitol here. And it will be for specifically military members who have lost their lives in the combat theater, to be very specific to that definition, madam. So I'm sitting in support of this bill.
Thank you. Any other questions for the carrier of the bill? Having seen none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move when the committee rises and reports, it reports House Bill 2540, favorable for passage as amended.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you very much. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2508, and we have the senator from Johnson, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 2508 concerns when an applicant or an employee or volunteer, oftentimes you are required to have a criminal history record check by an authorized agency to obtain that criminal record check, and this bill would allow that authorizing agency who's going to collect the criminal record check to participate in the RAP-BACK program. The RAP-BACK program is a federal program that notifies authorized agencies who do criminal record background checks and who obtain the fingerprints of applicants or employees or volunteers. It reports to those authorizing agencies when the person who has submitted their fingerprints or their criminal background check has had an arrest or other incident in other states that participates in the RAP-BACK program. So it keeps our agencies up to date on the volunteers, on the employees, or the other applicants who have very sensitive positions that they are engaged in. It keeps the agency apprised of records from other states. When the applicant, employee, or volunteer is no longer subject to that, the authorized agency would no longer have that person participating in the RAP-BACK program. This is a bill brought to us by the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. And with that, Madam Chair, I would stand for questions. And I do have one amendment that, as we were looking at the bill, I discussed with KBI that there was no enforcement mechanism. The bill does prohibit an employee of the KBI from disclosing any of these sensitive records. And in fact, no person acquiring these records of fingerprints or records relating to fingerprints can disclose any of this sensitive information. However, there's no enforcement mechanism. So the Kansas Bureau of Investigation is not opposed to putting in place some enforcement, and I have asked for an amendment, but it is not yet ready. So in the meantime, I would be happy to stand for questions on the bill and advise the body that the amendment would make it a Class A misdemeanor if someone who is in possession of these records were to improperly disclose them. I think it's an important amendment, especially as this body has been concerned with protecting individuals from identity theft and identity fraud.
Very good.
I'll stand for questions.
We will go ahead and take questions for the carrier of the bill, and we'll wait on that amendment. Does anyone have questions for the senator from Johnson? Senator Haley from Wyandotte. The senator from Wyandotte, Senator Haley.
Thank you, Madam
Did I get it right?
Chair. Either way suffices. Thank you so much, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. I certainly rise in support of the conceptual amendment as described by the chair from Johnson, Senator Warren, and also for the underlying bill. And I think the chair did say that this won't be implemented until the next fiscal year, 2024, as we ramp up to make sure that our technology is in scope. So as the system does work very well to identify or have those identified with criminal history through our fingerprints, I was wondering if the senator from Johnson or either senator from Johnson might remind certainly me and other members if we were able to resolve the instances where applicants or future employees didn't have identifying fingerprints, what we might be able to do if there was some kind of way in which we were able to resolve that, because as we learned in the committee, actually, Madam Chair, there are actually several Americans, maybe hundreds, that do not have fingerprints. So did we resolve that issue? And I didn't know if the senator from Johnson or any senator from Johnson would like to share. Thank you.
Senator from Johnson, would you care to respond?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did hear comment in committee that some persons don't have fingerprints that can be easily recorded and printed, and I'm not sure we heard a resolution, and I would leave that to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation to work on if that's something that needs to be done.
Thank you. Any other questions for the senator from Johnson?
And I do have the amendment, Madam Chair.
And you have the number?
Yes, I do.
You turned it in?
I have turned it in, and the number is 3786.
Do we have copies of that? Senator, do you want to explain your amendment, or do you want to have it read?
I'll just go ahead and explain it again, Madam Chair.
Please proceed.
Again, it makes the any intentional disclosure of such information in violation of the bill is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. And I'll stand for questions.
Do we have questions on the amendment for the senator from Johnson? Not seeing any. Senator, you may close. Move your amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the amendment.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The amendment passes. Would you like to continue then with your bill?
Sure, Madam Chair. I'll stand for questions.
I thought it, yes. Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Pittman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm supportive of this. When somebody gets flagged in the federal program, I don't know much about the Rat Back program, and we're here in Kansas, and our information will be going out to the federal, I suppose, a federal FBI type database is what I'd assume, but I really don't know much about it. But is there a way to, if this thing goes outside of our state and then out to the federal program, is there a way for the individuals who are getting verified, if you will, checked on, able to contact or dispute any of the findings that come out of that Rat Back program, Madam Chair?
Senator from Johnson, would you care to respond?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That issue did not come up in committee, so I am not certain of the response. I am not certain, but I can look into that if we want to pass over this and can come back to the question. Pass over the bill, that is, and come back to the question.
Senator from Leavenworth.
There's no need to hold up the process. I have concerns on that one front, as well as the making sure that the RATBAT program is in fact very secure. I'm assuming that the committee did look into the security of that personal identifiable information and the methods that will be transmitting that type of information outside of the state boundaries. But I am a little concerned for our citizens out there if they do get erroneously flagged, as could happen, what their repercussions are and how they would actually go about remediating that. So, but I certainly am not going to hold up the progress on this right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator from Johnson.
Madam Chair, I do have some information from the KBI that yes, there is an appeal process if some error is found or asserted by the person who is having their criminal background check investigated. And I am waiting on some further information on what the appeal process is, and it is that they can contact the state that the information comes from to get that corrected. There is an appeal process.
Are there any other questions for the senator from Johnson? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 2508 is an important program to make sure that those positions held by applicants, employees, or volunteers in sensitive positions, that we are able to properly conduct the criminal history record check and be kept up to date on those who are involved in those activities. So with that, Madam Chair, I move that when the committee rises and reports, it report House Bill 2508 as amended favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you very much. We're now turning our attention to Senate Bill 529. The senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we adopt the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried. You may proceed.
Senate Bill 529 matches the procedures for renewal online of our non-driver identification card with driver's licenses. It does add in the laser engraved image because some of the vendors are now going to that for higher security. With that, I would stand for questions.
Very good. Thank you very much. Are there questions for the senator from Sedgwick? Having seen none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move when the committee rises and report, it report Senate Bill 529 favorable for passage.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carried. The chair recognizes the Majority Leader from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Although you've heard the motion, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carried.
The clerk will read the committee report.
On motion of Senator Alley, the Senate resolved itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on the calendar under the heading of General Orders with Senator Dietrich in the chair. Recommended, House Bill 2540 be amended on motion of Senator Olson and the bill be passed as amended. House Bill 2508 be amended on motion of Senator Warren and the bill be passed as amended. Senate Bill 529 be amended by the adoption of the committee report and the bill be passed as amended.
The chair recognizes the senator from Shawnee, Senator Dietrich, to adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move we adopt the committee report.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion carried. The chair recognizes the senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the emergency be declared, the rules suspended, and the following bills be advanced to final action and roll call. House Bill 2540, House Bill 2508, and Senate Bill 529.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion carries. We are now ready for final action. On this roll call, we will take the following. The bills on pages 4 and 5, House Bill 2540, House Bill 2508, and Senate Bill 529. The clerk will read the titles.
House Bill 2540, an act authorizing the construction of a permanent memorial honoring Kansas Gold Star families on the state capitol grounds. House Bill 2508, an act concerning criminal history record information. Senate Bill 529, an act concerning non-drivers identification cards.
The clerk will call the roll.
Alley. Baumgardner. Billinger. Bowers. Clays. Corson. Dietrich. Dahl. Erickson. Fagg. Fauskido. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Hawk. Hildebrand. Holland. Holscher. Kirshen. Cluse. Longbine. Masterson. McGinn. Olson. O'Shea. Peck. Peterson. Petty. Pittman. Pyle. Reichman. Steffen. Straub. Sullentrop. Sykes. Thompson. Tyson. Ware. Warren. Wilborn.
Has every senator had the opportunity to vote? Does any senator wish to explain their vote? Does any senator wish to change their vote? Seeing none, the clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. "38 having voted in favor and 0 against, Senate Bill 529, House Bill 2508, and House Bill 2540. These measures, having received the required constitutional majority, are hereby declared passed. Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 570 by Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning the Secretary of State.
This constitutes the introduction of Senate Bill 570. Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Mr. President, the Committee on Public Health and Welfare recommends House Bill 2386 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Hildebrand, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Public Health and Welfare recommends Senate Bill 460 be passed. Senator Hildebrand, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance recommends House Bill 2489 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Longbine, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Education recommends substitute for House Bill 2466 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Baumgardner, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2476 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Peterson, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2483 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Peterson, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2595 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Peterson, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2458 be amended by substituting with a new bill to be designated a Senate substitute for House Bill number 2458, and the substitute bill be passed. Senator Peterson, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Transparency and Ethics recommends Senate Bill 485 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Bowers, chairperson. Mr. President, the Committee on Judiciary recommends House Bill 2517 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Senator Warren, chairperson.
There having been objections to House Bill 2537 and House Bill 2607 appearing on the consent calendar, these bills will be removed and placed on general orders. Are there announcements? The chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I gave you, we're meeting tomorrow, but we also have a bill that come in late. We're going to schedule a hearing on it on Monday, 10 o'clock, our normal room, and we're also going to hear it and work it. So the committee be there Monday, 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from Sherman, Senator Bellinger.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Senate Ways and Means, we will meet Monday at 10 o'clock in our normal room. Means we have caucus there at 11. I think that'll give us enough time for our hearing. So 10 o'clock Monday in our normal room. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Senate Transportation will meet tomorrow at 8:30. We'll work some bills previously heard. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from Cherokee, Senator Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just a reminder, the Senate Public Health and Welfare Committee is meeting at the rail as soon as you gavel this out to finish our work on Senate Bill 501.
Chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Senator Faust-Cadeau.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. If the senator from Johnson, Senator Olson, if he could repeat what he just said about the Senate Federal and State Affairs Committee. I didn't hear him, and I don't think he, so I was wondering, so we're still confirming that we're still meeting tomorrow morning. However, he mentioned a bill that we would hear and work. Could he elaborate on the bill number or what that bill was?
Senator, I will ask him to repeat. Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I believe tomorrow we're going to finish up with 560's hearing, and I believe we have up for hearing 2462. We'll probably work some bills tomorrow, and then on Monday we have 2710. So we will have probably a normal day tomorrow. We've had a pretty busy week already, but we've got a normal day tomorrow. And then on Monday, I don't really perceive this hearing taking very long. And, you know, then we'll probably be caucusing and moving forward there. So thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Seeing none, the chair recognizes the majority leader from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate adjourn pro forma until 9:30 a.m. on Friday, March 18th, 2022.
You have heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion carries. The Senate is adjourned.